All right, welcome. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. We have a lot to get into. Last time since we spoke, the Eagles signed defensive tackle, former Saints defensive tackle, Contavious Street. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk a little bit about the fact that safety Ryan Neal, former Seattle Seahawks safety Ryan Neal, is going to be the tender was rescinded by the Seattle Seahawks. So the Eagles will have a shot at signing safety Ryan Neal. And will they be interested is the thing. He does have ties to defensive coordinator Sean Desai. So we'll see if they'll make a play for him. He will definitely be an upgrade over Justin Evans or Reed Blankenship. Would be a really good option to pair with Terrell Edmonds, to be completely honest with you. We're also going to talk a little bit about the fact that cornerback draft prospect out of Georgia, Keely Ringo, is scheduled to have a pre-draft visit with the Philadelphia Eagles, which I'm really excited about. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. King Miro, what's up, my man? Happy Monday. King says we do need safeties now, and plus, I don't know about Branch being at 30. Yeah, so so we can talk about that a little bit. So there's some talk that and some mock drafts that Brian Branch out of Alabama is going to be there at pick number 30 for the Philadelphia Eagles. I just don't see it. Usually when a top safety prospect is scheduled to go in the first round or mocked to go in the first round, they usually go somewhere between 15 and 25. We saw it with Clinton Dix, who I think went at like 22 or something like that, somewhere within the 20s. I could see something similar with Brian Branch. Toxic Falcon, what's up, DB? What's up, my man? How's it going? Let's talk a little bit about defensive tackle Contavious Street. The Eagles just signed. He's a former Saint. I really like this guy. I really like this signing. I think that he's an up and comer. It was a great depth move. Obviously he was in the Saints defensive line rotation last season and picked up 3.5 sacks. He's got some good pass rush moves to his repertoire. So, I think the fact that we brought back Fletch for another year gives him another opportunity to train these younger guys coming up. Obviously, like the likes of Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, to get another year under the tutelage of Fletcher Cox, and now we got Contavious Street coming in here to learn a little bit as well. So I could see him pushing for a spot for sure. King says good for rotation, honestly. Yeah, no doubt. Obviously, a part of that rotation is, or part of that DT room is Marlon Tuipulotu. And his brother is actually going to be in the draft. This year as an edge rusher. But I think that Contavious Street has shown a little bit more flash, has shown a little bit more production during his time with the Saints than Marlon Tuipulotu has. I can't believe I'm saying that name correctly. And so I could forecast him beating out Tuipulotu for a spot. So we'll just have to see what happens. Guys, are the Eagles gonna be in play for safety Ryan Neal? I think that they should certainly kick the tires. I think they should certainly kick the tires now that the Seattle Seahawks have rescinded their tender for him. But we'll just have to see what happens, what comes from it. I think they definitely should. I think that they definitely need some more depth at safety, obviously, after losing CJ, and also the fact that they lost Marcus Epps as well. King says, I wanted the dude from the Titans, but it's not time to get picky. Kevin Byard. Yeah, Kevin Byard. Yeah, here's the thing. here's the thing. I mean, obviously, there were rumors that multiple veterans from the Titans team were going to be up for trade or made available. Obviously, the first one being well, they're all notable actually, but the first big one, Derrick Henry, obviously, and then Kevin Byard, safety Kevin Byard, and then defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons. Now, me personally, I think I would much rather have Jeffrey Simmons. Reason being for that is he's 25 years old, on the last year of his deal. Um, can we get him for 1 year and make something of it? And if he makes something of it, would we go ahead and resign him to a longer deal next year? But then again, obviously, it all comes into play with Jalen Hurts' contract and how they're going to get that done. I see that happening soon. Obviously, they're really pressing to get that done. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. But um, guys, really excited that cornerback from Georgia, Keely Ringo, is gonna be visiting Philadelphia for a visit. I really like this guy. Any Georgia guy, honestly, from that Georgia defense, I'm all on board for. It's crazy because the Eagles have drafted, um, two Georgia players over the last two drafts. Uh, the one back in 2020, I think it was 2021. Um, they drafted Devontae Smith and Landon Dickerson, and then this last year they drafted Jordan Davis and who else was it? Somebody else, N'Kobe Dean. N'Kobe Dean. So will it be Jalen Carter and Keely Ringo? We will just have to see. We will just have to see. The only way that I could actually see them taking Keely Ringo is if they stay pat at pick 30. That's the only way that I could see them taking Keely Ringo. Otherwise, I think Keely Ringo is going to be gone by the next time that they pick. Obviously, if he's a late first, early second round cornerback prospect. Um, you know, we'll just have to see. But I would not be against it. But there are a lot of people that think that the Eagles are going to go offense with their first two picks, which wouldn't be surprising. I guess it would be a little bit surprising. It wouldn't be terribly surprising, but there are still a lot of people that are dead set on the Eagles taking offensive lineman at pick number 10. I personally don't see it. I agree with Thomas Mott from the Thomas Mott Show. Where if they were to pick an offensive lineman at 10, you want that guy at pick 10 to come in and start right away. The offensive lineman that they pick at number 10 is not going to start right away. And lo and behold, that leads us into Bijan Robinson. Who would come in and play right away? That would be Bijan Robinson. King says, if we get Bijan Robinson at 10, I'm good, honestly, or trade up to get Will Anderson. Yeah. I don't see, I mean, it would be great to get Will Anderson. It would be great to get Tyree or Miles Murphy. I feel like all three of those guys are going to be gone by the time that we pick. And then that just leaves us with the question, excuse me. That just leaves us with the question, is it worth taking Jalen Carter at pick number 10? All the off-field issues and whatnot. And how relevant are those issues going to be, at the point in time when training camp rolls around or when the season begins when it comes to Jalen Carter? And are they going to linger? You do something once, is it going to happen again? Those sorts of things. But I agree with you, King. I think I would be perfectly fine with Bijan Robinson at pick number 10. King says, I don't want Bijan going to the Cowboys. There's a few things there, and I think it really doesn't make sense for the Cowboys to take Bijan Robinson, because they just franchise tag Tony Pollard. But then again, That's all the more reason for you to think that the Cowboys could take Bijan Robinson, because they did franchise tag Tony Pollard and they didn't give him a longer term deal, right? And Bijan Robinson he's a Texas running back. Those are his roots. Um, and he's the type of running back that honestly the Cowboys would covet too. You look at Ezekiel Elliott. Um, you look at it, DeMarco Murray. Obviously, Bijan Robinson is much more athletic and much more talented than DeMarco Murray. But I think you guys get what I'm saying here. They're tough runners, and they can pretty much hit the hole pretty quickly. So, um, so yeah, I wouldn't want the Cowboys to draft Bijan Robinson either. I don't think that would be good news for the Philadelphia Eagles. But then again, you know, would the Cowboys use him correctly? In fact, any running back prospect, in my opinion, I would worry about going to the Cow. I would feel bad because we saw what happened to Zeke, and the Cowboys just kind of ran him into the ground. They ran him too much, and now he's 28 years old. He's dead, and he's dead in the water. King says, plus, I know Jerry loves running backs too, so I'd snatch him up real quick if Carter and Anderson are gone. Yeah. Here's the thing is um I don't think Jalen Carter is going to be gone. I think Jalen Carter is definitely going to be there at pick number 10. My only question is it is going to be a risk. Whether we like it or not, he's obviously a phenomenal player. He's a day one starter. He's a plug and play defensive tackle, defensive end, defensive lineman all around. He's a great. He's going to be a great player in this league. Um, if he gets the chance to do so. The thing is that are the off the field issues going to linger, and how long are they going to linger for? And you know, does it leave the window open for those things happening again? That's my concern. That's my concern with Jalen Carter, honestly. But you know, going back to Bijan Robinson, there's not a lot of unsafe things you could say about picking running back Bijan Robinson at pick number 10, other than the fact that it's kind of a hush hush nay nay type of thing to do, to pick a running back at pick number 10. I guess it's not like we're picking him at pick number 5, right? I mean, why not take him at 10? Christian McCaffrey was taken at what, 12? I think he was taken at pick number 12. Like, you know, have you guys seen what Bijan Robinson can do? Everybody's like freaking out. He's one of the top rated prospects in the draft out of all the positions. And people are freaking out about the fact that oh yeah, no, there's no way the Eagles are going to take a running back. Well, yeah, history isn't necessarily on our side for that, but we also haven't been in position to take a running back like Bijan Robinson before. We were going to take Christian McCaffrey, and the Panthers snatched him up before we could get him. I don't even remember who we ended up taking in that draft. Does anybody remember who we ended up taking in that draft? King says even Gibbs going to the Cowboys is a yikes. I'm not all that turned on by Jahmyr Gibbs. And I'm usually pretty good at scouting running backs. I don't mean to toot my own horn. I don't even own a horn. But if I did, I don't mean to toot it. Some of the shit I say with you guys is just weird. I was right about Wendell Smallwood as far as a late round prospect is concerned. And he came in and he performed a little bit for us. I was right about Corey Clement. Obviously he had a great rookie season, undrafted rookie running back free agent. And I was I think I overhyped Miles Sanders a little bit. I will say that I did overhype Miles Sanders a little bit, but I thought he was going to be the next big thing. I thought he was going to be the closest thing to Shady McCoy that we've had in a long, long time since Shady McCoy. He just wasn't that. I didn't realize how bad of ball carrier vision he had, but he did. He had bad ball carrier vision. Um, that was the knock on Miles Sanders, to be completely honest with you. That and is obviously his receiving ability, but um, I do think Jahmyr Gibbs. I've said this before. I've said this in previous streams. I think that if Jahmyr Gibbs puts on 5 to 10 pounds, um, he would remind me a lot of Melvin Gordon. He kind of already does remind me of a Melvin Gordon. But I think if he puts on like 5 to 10 pounds, get some extra strength, I think he has the ability to be really, really impressive. Not that he's not already impressive, it's just that I think he could be even better. Um, I do think that there are some underrated running backs, obviously, that we could also target. Other ones being Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA. He's one of those 6'1", 220 running backs that you would think that does everything that you would think a 6'1", 220 running back could do. He does those things. There's Dwayne McBride out of I don't remember what school it is, but he's pretty darn good too. So I would actually be okay, like if we passed up Bijan Robinson or we passed up a Jahmyr Gibbs or any one of those guys, like I would be okay with the Eagles taking Dwayne McBride in the third round. So sorry, my computer keeps wanting to alert me that there's updates needed, which means I just need to update my computer. But um King, you say that you would want to take Bijan Robinson at pick number 10 if Will Anderson or Jalen Carter are gone. Well, what about the other positions? What about the other guys? What about is there any offensive lineman that kind of turn you that kind of get the ball rolling for you? Um Me personally, I if we are going to take an offensive lineman, I like Peter Skrzanski or whatever his name is. Um I do like him. And the only reason why I talk about that a little bit is because like I'm trying to prepare for, being disappointed and the Eagles taking a boring pick. The Eagles going with an offensive lineman at pick number 10. Um, I don't want them to pick an offensive lineman at pick number 10. I mean, would it like increase the chances of ensuring, future offensive line dominance? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Of course it would. But I would rather them take like a guy that we know is going to come in day one and contribute. Plus, they got Cam Jurgens at right guard. I think the big conversation right now, I think the big conversation is about the Eagles taking an offensive lineman this high in the draft is because we lost Isaac, which is fine. We lost Isaac. I think Cam Jurgens is going to come in and play really, really well. Um, but we also lost Andre Dillard. So we lost our swing tackle, right? So it's like who's gonna be there? Who's gonna be the backup? Well, there's other. It's a deep offensive line class, guys. It's not just limited to the first round. It's not just limited to the second round. Even though we don't have a second round pick, but we'll live. We'll find a way. Howie Roseman will find a way. This will happen. I am not. There's no doubt in my mind that we will have at least at least another fourth round pick. I believe we're going to have another second round pick. What I think is actually going to happen, they may trade back out of 10. They may trade back out of 10. Maybe a couple spots. Not a big jump back, but maybe 3, 4, 5 spots. Possibly pick up an extra first. Who knows? I don't know. King says, I see us drafting in an O lineman in the second round. We don't have a second round pick at this point in time. We don't have a second round pick in this point in time. But like I just said, like I don't see, and maybe and I don't see Howie not trying to get one. I think Howie's going to definitely try and get a second round pick. It's just going to be a matter of can he get it? Those draft day trades. That's why those draft day trades are so incredible. To be completely honest with you, is like, you got to get those done. Like you prepare for all the scenarios, you prepare for every single scenario that you possibly can, but that doesn't mean just because you prepared for every single one doesn't mean that there could be like a scenario that you didn't plan for, right? And then you got to do it within a time limit. You got to get the trade, you got to get the card to the guy, and you got to call the guy, and then the guy's got to call the other guy, and the guy's got to be like, yo, I want to fucking do this. And then, you know what I mean? So like, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. King says, I don't think we have a fourth or seventh. Yeah, I don't think we have a fourth or a seventh. We don't have a fourth. I know that for a fact. Do we have a seventh? It's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. I think we have a late sixth. I think we have a couple of sixes. But I can't be sure off the top of my head. I can't be sure off the top of my head. But I will say that like whoever they do go with at pick number 10, I think it's gonna be it's going to be hard to mess up. It's gonna be hard to mess up, honestly. There's so many options that you could go with, and there's so many players that could come in and play right away. Obviously there's Bijan Robinson, there's Jalen Carter, there's if they draft Nolan Smith, I think that that's another thing that we could touch on too, is that like the fact that Sean Desai was looking at versatile players like Keanu Neal, for example, could spell good news for the Eagles drafting a player like Nolan Smith. Because Nolan Smith is one of those guys. He looks like he's a smart player. He's a Georgia player, and he looks like he can play on the edge. He looks like he can play stand-up linebacker. He looks like he can do multiple things for you. So I mean, and he blew up the combine too. He had a phenomenal combine. I would definitely be on board with the Eagles taking Nolan Smith. It's just that, is that worth it at 10? You know what I mean? Or is that a trade back route? You know what I mean? Is that a trade back route that we trade back to get Nolan, or trade back and then draft Nolan Smith and then pick up extra picks as well to go along with it? But yeah, there's Nolan Smith. There's cornerback Devin Witherspoon. I like all top 3 cornerbacks, honestly. Christian Gonzalez, Joey Porter Jr. There's gonna be some good options, and then the other thing too is these offensive linemen. Are they gonna be into Peter Skrzanski or whatever his fucking name is, or are they gonna be into this guy out of Ohio State, Paris Johnson? He's a really good player too, and they could cross train him. He could play either side of the line. They had him in for a early pre-draft visit. I think he was one of the very first ones, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll just have to see. But I think that's something definitely is going to go down. Something big is definitely going to go down. So I'm hearing noises, and I think it's just the wind. It's very windy where I am. So what kind of weather are you guys having? We can talk about other shit too. You guys know this. We don't have to just talk about ball. I mean, obviously we're going to talk about ball, but you know what I'm saying. I was talking, I don't know if you guys remember Patrick J, but I was talking to Patrick J the other night, and he really likes Kyler Murray, and I love giving him shit about Kyler Murray because I think Kyler Murray is not worth starting quarterback spot anymore. I just think that he's a finger pointer, and I think that he's hurt way too often, and his heart's just not in it, to be completely honest with you. So I said to Patrick J, I said, you know what would be really funny is if the Cardinals traded Kyler Murray to the Colts. I think for what pick do they have? Pick number 4 or pick number 3, and then the Cardinals drafted Will Levis, and then they also drafted Will Anderson. Now, how great would that be? That would be hilarious. It's never going to happen, but it would be funny. Patrick J was like, "Oh, Will Anderson or Will Levis. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?" Apparently, Patrick J does not like Will Levis. That's all right. That is all right. King says Will Levis is better than Zach Wilson. Yeah, he is. He is. Well, I don't think Zach Wilson is gonna be. Yeah, it's funny that you said that actually, because Patrick J is not only a Cardinals fan, he's also a Jets fan. Um, I, yeah, I don't think Zach Wilson's gonna start for the Jets, but um, yeah, Will Levis is definitely better than Zach Wilson. In fact, I feel like all three or all of the top quarterbacks in this draft class are going to be better than Zach Wilson. Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, um, CJ Stroud, you know, it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how these quarterbacks play out, how these quarterbacks fall, and who's going to trade. Is there going to be another trade up? That's going to be the interesting thing. I think I saw a mock draft. I think I saw a mock draft where the Vikings traded up and took one of these quarterbacks. So I asked, how do you guys feel about Fletcher Cox almost becoming a Jet? King says, Fletch has loyalty. He's going to retire an Eagle after he gets another ring. I will say this. It was surprising to hear. Honestly, it's kind of surprising to hear when they do come out and say that, like, oh, I almost signed with this team, especially when you've been playing here for such a long time. So it was surprising to hear Fletch come out and actually say he almost became a Jet. Maybe there was some convincing that needed to be done. But here's another thing too, guys. We have to remember that Fletcher Cox did not like playing for Jonathan Gannon. We have to remember that. He did not like playing for Jonathan Gannon. So I think he probably saw something in Sean Desai's scheme. Probably talked to Sean Desai quite a bit, and there could have been some positive words exchanged. And also, yeah, Fletch does have some loyalty, and Fletch does want to retire an Eagle, and he does want to get another ring. And honestly, I don't think we're far off from getting another ring. Obviously, we were not far off from getting another ring. We should have won that game. We should have beat the Chiefs. I'm just gonna come out and say it. We should have beat the Chiefs. If Jalen Hurts got the ball back, my thing is I think that we would have went down, kicked a game-winning field goal, and that would have been it. Honestly, if not a game-winning touchdown, to be honest. But lo and behold, the refs got us. The refs got us on that one. You know what I mean? So, but it was a great game. Probably the best Super Bowl, honestly, since the Eagles played the Patriots in 2017. probably the best Super Bowl since, and I'm not just saying that because I'm an Eagles fan. I'm not just saying that because I'm an Eagles fan. Maybe there might be a hint of bias, but to be completely honest with you, um, the NFL game, it is built off of big plays and offense nowadays, and in 2017, Tom Brady throws for more than 500 yards and brings his team back in that game, and the Eagles still come back and win with Nick Foles at the quarterback. A lot of points are scored. Same thing in this game with the Chiefs. Same thing in this game with the Chiefs. A lot of points were scored, and it was a great offensive game. It was a great offensive game. So, um, or maybe they should just put the Eagles in the Super Bowl every single year. You know what I mean? Just call every single game so that the Eagles have a clear path at making it. The Eagles have a tough schedule this year, guys. Obviously, the schedule hasn't come out yet, but the teams are going to be tough. We're going to play the Chiefs. We're going to play the Bills. We're going to play the Dolphins. We're going to play some tough teams. And now, are the Eagles going to lose every single one of those, tough games? Probably not. Probably not. I really do think that Jalen Hurts has taken this team to another level, and obviously Jalen Hurts is is on a higher level of is just on a whole other level of athlete, I guess you could say. He's already been working at it every single day because he lost the Super Bowl, and he did the same exact thing last year, and we saw how much of an improvement he made. So can't wait to see what this year brings, and with Jalen Hurts, and also the Eagles are going to add a third wide receiver, guys. We cannot forget about that. The Eagles are going to add a third wide receiver, and he's going to be better than Quez Watkins. He's going to be better than Quez Watkins. He's going to be able to get open more often than Quez Watkins, and he's going to be able to catch the ball a little bit better than Quez Watkins. Is it going to be DeAndre Hopkins? Who knows? That's some other news and notes that we could fucking talk about, is that the Cardinals are rumored to be releasing DeAndre Hopkins because they couldn't find a trade suitor. So King says the refs and the field were MVP in that game. Yeah, but here's the thing: the Chiefs played on the same field. You know what I mean? The Chiefs played on the same field, so um, so we can't really blame anybody other than ourselves, honestly. So and the Eagles were up. The Eagles were up. The Eagles were running away with it in the first half. They were running away with it. But that's in the past. That's in the past, and we'll just have to let that rest and sit in the past. So, and Gannon with a big old giant middle finger. Yes, very, very true. Very, very, very true. Yeah, fuck Gannon. No, I think Sean Desai is gonna bring a much better is gonna put out a much better product for our defense out on the field. To be completely honest with you, is it gonna look like 70 sacks and a bunch of fucking turnovers? Maybe not right away. Maybe not right away, but it is probably going to be more consistent. It is probably going to be more so catered towards getting guys in the right position, and guys are going to be in the right position most of the time, more consistently. So that is something to look forward to. I also think it's, one of our captains, defensive tackle Fletcher Cox, is going to be playing for a guy that he wants to play for, or more or less not playing for a guy that he doesn't want to play for, which is Jonathan Gannon. He's not going to have to deal with that anymore. It's going to be interesting to see how he uses Hassan Reddick, how he uses Josh Sweat. I think that there's also going to be different things that we can do. I think there's going to be different things that we're going to be able to do. I also think that there's an increased depth at the cornerback position with Greedy Williams. Like I don't think that's being talked about enough. Like behind Avonte Maddox last year, we didn't really have anybody. Josiah Scott was shit. when Avonte Maddox went out. But now that there's Greedy Williams, Darius Slay's back, James Bradbury's back, Avonte Maddox. Now that we're 4 cornerbacks deep at least, that's going to be really good. And who knows what else they will add? You know what I mean? And if they add this safety, Ryan Neal, and like that goes on top of it, adding Justin Evans. Justin Evans is a good player, guys. Justin Evans is a good player. Can he stay healthy? Is the question. Justin Evans was an up and coming and rising player before he started to get hurt. So that's a high upside signing. Justin Evans is a good player, and that I feel like it's getting downplayed too much. But that's a good signing. Terrell Edmonds, we know, is a good signing. Do they go after safety Ryan Neal? Like there are like this is a good offseason so far, and this defense is looking good. It's looking like it's being put in the right position to not take that far of a drop back. In fact, maybe even a step forward. King says, if he gets 18 and a half sacks from Robert Quinn, I can't wait until what Riddick does with Sean D. That's right. He did get 18 and a half sacks from Robert Quinn. That's right. When he was coaching in Chicago. I completely forgot about that. Well, Robert Quinn's no longer on the team, but I know what you're saying. Hassan Reddick. Yeah, and who are we going to we're going to add somebody on the defensive line. We're going to add somebody, so. Tox Falcon says our defense is looking good. Your defense is looking toxic. I'm just playing, bro. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We will see. Didn't the Eagles have 10 players with 10 sacks this season? No, we didn't have 10 players with 10 sacks. That's insane. That's 100 sacks, dude. That's 100 sacks. We had who was it? It was Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick had more than 10 sacks. Brandon Graham had more than 10 sacks. Josh Sweat had more than 10 sacks. Javon Hargrave, I'm not counting. I think we had 7, maybe or maybe 6. Tox Falcon says not 10, but 4 or 5. Yeah, about that. Yeah. It was about 5 or 6. King says, nah, just our D line, except Cox. He had 7.5. And 7.5 sacks is good from the defensive tackle position. That is good from the defensive tackle position. I don't think that's getting enough credit. Everybody's so used to these new age defensive tackles getting 10 and a half sacks. It's not normal. Defensive tackle has to go up against the center and the guard, and most of the time, and so him getting a sack is really, that's why I'm just glad that we have Fletch, and Fletch has found his new niche. He's not in a lot. He's playing about 40% of the snaps now, but he had phenomenal production. Toxic Falcon says y'all D-line just got better, which is crazy to think about. Did it though? Did it get better? I mean, we're gonna lose Javon Hargrave. I think what is his name? Kadarius Street. He's a young up and comer. Milton Williams is gonna take a jump. I just have a feeling. Fletcher Cox coming back obviously is a great thing. Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick, Derek Barnett is coming back. Just as long as he can get his penalties fucking corrected, we'd be fine. And we're probably gonna Jordan Davis obviously is gonna be in year 2. So there's that. And then Brandon Graham, obviously. So, and then if we take Jalen Carter, if we take Jalen Carter, Or if we take Lucas Van Ness, that could be very, very good as well. That's another guy that I wouldn't mind taking at pick number 10. King says, yeah, we about to get Career up there or Carter up there too. Hopefully the Bears don't take him. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is the Bears could take him. The Bears could take Lucas Van Ness. You know, I think either one of those guys is going to be available for the Philadelphia Eagles, or maybe both at pick number 10. But we will see. Dox Falcon says, do the Eagles still need some wideouts? Yeah, I think we do. I think we do. And personally, I think that it would be stupid for us not to add another starting caliber wide receiver. I think, I mean, clearly they weren't happy with Quez Watkins' performance, you know, towards the latter half of the season, especially not in the Super Bowl. He shouldn't have dropped that pass. But I think they want to go after a guy who can get open, catch the ball more consistently, get open more consistently, and be a viable third option for Jalen Hurts, other than Dallas Goedert. You know, so I think that's what they're going to go after. King says Van Ness is garbage. Out on that, DB. Well, I think he's got some good upside. You know, agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. Would I take Jake Hyatt from Tennessee? I don't know who that is. I haven't looked at everybody. I haven't looked at everybody yet. I have not looked at. Oh, Jalen Hyatt. Oh, the wide receiver. Yeah, I like Jalen. I like Jalen Hyatt. Me personally is I like Tank Daniels. He's a bit smaller. He's 5'9", but he's quick. He's got quick feet. I also wouldn't mind the Eagles taking the dude out of North Carolina. What's his name? I don't remember his name. Tox Falcon says he destroyed Bama. Jalen Hyatt, yeah. But me, Josh Downs. That's it. I wouldn't be opposed to the Eagles taking Josh Downs if Josh Downs fell, or if the Eagles were able to pick up a second round pick. King says I like Tank Daniels, honestly. Yeah, Tank Daniels is awesome. Tank Daniels is good in the return game, which we need. And I think he'd be a phenomenal slot player. So he just looks like one of those guys that you can kind of do anything with. You know what I mean? So like a Debo-esque type of dude, like a true slot type of guy. Because we saw it. We saw what they wanted to do with Quez Watkins. Quez Watkins just hasn't been able to put it all together yet. But then again, we have to remember Quez Watkins was like a 6th round pick. And we were really, impressed with him as a rookie. And he's made jumps in his progression, ever since he's become a rookie, or ever since he was a rookie. So, I don't think we're going to be giving up on Quez Watkins. I think he's definitely going to still be on the team. It's just a matter of, is he going to be the 3rd receiver? Is he going to be the 4th receiver? That's why I talk about, the possibility of DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think the Eagles are going to get DeAndre Hopkins, but, maybe a savvy veteran, who still got some wheels left, which is why I wanted McCole Hardman, but whatever. King says, yeah, Covey is not it. No, Covey is not it. No, they should have Boston Scott returning. Punts, kickoffs, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I just don't see like I don't see why not. I don't see why not. He's good at it. You know, he gets the job done. Um, you know, Covey was good. Covey was good in the return game in the playoffs. That I will say. That I will say. King says OBJ 1 year, 15 mil. Is that something that just happened, or are you saying the Eagles to do that? That's not happening. You think OBJ is going to get $15 million? A dude that hasn't played in 2 years? No, not happening. Not happening. But I would take OBJ. I would take OBJ. I would take OBJ 1 year for $7 million. OBJ 1 year for six. But I think OBJ's out of his mind if he thinks he's going to get $15 million anywhere. That's just ludicrous. Absolute ludicrous. You know what I mean? But honestly, here's what I want to have happen. I want the Eagles to draft Bijan Robinson at pick number 10. And then I want them to trade pick number 30 to the Tennessee Titans for Jeffrey Simmons. That's what I want to have happen. And then in the third round, I want them to take running back not Dwayne McBride, because we just took Bijan Robinson. Then in the third round, I want them to take Jamie Robinson from the other safety from Florida State. So, or maybe even the safety from Georgia. I know that obviously Howie Roseman's fallen in love with these Georgia players because I mean there's rumors and reports all over the place as far as Howie linking up with Georgia players. King says I would like it for it to happen just to rub it in on the Cowboys fans' face. Just to rub what on the Cowboys' face? Just kidding. Just kidding. That's a joke. Just trying to make you laugh. I'm not sure if it worked because we can't see each other, but that's okay. Yeah, no, I yeah, no, I would definitely want the Eagles to take Bijan Robinson. Not that I really care about not that I really care about what the Cowboys think of the pick or not. I just think that Bijan Robinson behind our offensive line is going to be really, really funny. Or it's going to be not really, really funny. It's going to be a really good move. Just a phenomenal, thing. It's inappropriate, King. It's inappropriate. We don't talk about nuts. We don't talk about nuts on this stream. It's just you know, not right. child friendly stream. Yeah, no, I think Bijan Robinson would be a phenomenal option behind the Eagles offensive line. And a lot of people are really excited about Rashad Penny, and I am too. Obviously, I'm excited about the upside of Rashad Penny if Rashad Penny can stay healthy. But that's the huge thing here: is Rashad Penny needs to stay healthy. King says, "My fault. I'll keep it PG." No, don't. No, it's not your bad, dude. It's my bad. I'm the one who made it. I'm the one who made it rated R in the first place. So, and then if you draft Bijan Robinson, like, if you draft Bijan Robinson, you can keep Kenny Gainwell as your 4-minute back, your 4-minute offensive back. So, um, I mean, it just keeps our offense more dynamic, to be completely honest with you. But anyway, guys, it was great being on here with you guys. Happy Monday. Stay safe, stay healthy. This is DB talking now. DB talking birds. DB talking Philadelphia Eagles. King, Toxic. Thank you guys so much for joining. Peace out.